Okay, now it's on.
Okay, good. Now we're all ready. Fine, fine. All right. So, I mean, or you can pause it until I get into it. It doesn't matter, but whatever.
It's okay. I would
Yes,
love to
question
actually get
first you
to.
want to ask, or you just want to ask them as you go?
Either way, I do have some questions for my mom or my dad. Is that I want to ask them like, how are you taught when you were a child? Like, what
Okay.
was your childhood like?
Okay.
How was I educated when I was a young reptilian?
Okay.
And like, show me how I was raised when I was a child. Like, did my mom like treat me in a way different from every other beings that I know of, or
Mm.
like because I personally have a lot of personalities that when I lived here on Earth, I just have so many behaviors that are just erratically different from
Okay.
people.
Well, maybe we'll get some answers today. Hopefully. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So when you see my hand doing something, it's because I use the pendulum. Okay. It also helps me make sure that everything is clear. So I want to first say that we call upon both Andy and my higher self to put protection around both of us to see that all energies are pure, clear, and of the highest nature. All information that is pure and clear and from the highest nature comes through. That only beings from and for our higher good and Andy's higher good and my higher good will come through. Any others will not be seen. They will not see us. We will not be allowed in the area of either Misha, the channeler, or Andy. Uh, okay, so I'm just going to put this violet, beautiful energy around both of us and protection around Andy, protection around Misha. Chúng ta chọn trong đào cái gì thì cái gì ta chọn đào你说他他这个chuyện nó đào cái chuyện này thì mà ý chí xin nó cái ta sẽ chuyện nó ta cái ý cố tôi想那他个chuyện này tôi玩那他cái đi我搞那说他cái你我他想那ý cố nó được sẽ thì ý cố mà那ta cái话想那mà để cái tôi cố那ý nó cố cho ta cầm nó ta cái想那ta ý cố nó sao ta cái đi ni xin mà wa có nó mà na cái xin nó ta cái Kumano shatata kino manaka shanata. Iko na shatata kenino watanasa. Iko ati shano wakotana naka shamanata katai. Kino watata shanata katino wamakata muno shabakata tata kino shata. Ikitu shotata kana namona katawa. Kwa watachedam kudotu shanataka tegada kudu no shanakta wakata. Ito kuna matata shumno kota tata kino shatata. Ni kuma tata shuno bakata to no no ko ru bakata ni ko shana na ra ko ike to shwa takata shina I kwa chi ni ko no ko ma tata ki ni no wa na kwa na ko to ma sha ma na ka ta ni ko to takati ki no sha ta no ma ta ka na ta ka ni no sha ma ni ka ta ike to na kwa ta na sha na ka I kwa ta na sha na ta ko na ta sha ta na I kwa 一款款嗯，咔嚓嗯，呼完。Donna, indo, donna, o gonna, ni ronda, nando, rando, nanda, you non, na. Your mother and your father are there. They ask you, what is it that you desire them? I will translate.
I want to ask Mom. Mom, like, how was I raised when I was a little reptilian?
Draconian. Wow, Draconian.
I am.
A powerful and strong race. We desire only the superior and superiority from that race. You never would ever show any fear, never ever show any inferiority. You are a proud Draconian race who would be oh yes. You would be an inspirational divination, as we feel divine race. We are superior in both stature and voice and intelligence, far superior than many in this quadrant. You, as a child, were taught to be this. You have superior intelligence even in this mere body that you have chosen to be in. You still are using 34% of your brain, while others of your species are not. Do you understand and comprehend that the 44% is of a very large degree in this medium of body that you are in? Do you?
Yes, that is correct. I've been using a lot of my brains to understand and you and everyone else. Wow.
The school system there is much different than it is here.
So
It will,
how is the Draconians are trained in Draconia or Alpha Draconis?
there are two sectors, one of the militaristic and one of the educational um, um, your word. We're looking for your word. Your word would be political, closest word, political. So you are the military and the political. You were raised in the political. You were raised to be a future ambassador. You were raised to be a future politician, as you would speak it. But the politicians are different. They yes. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, no. School would look like this. You would go to the highest grade, the second highest degree, the third highest degree. Once you the third highest degree, you would then be completely educated into the ways of our civilization. You must know all the rules, all the laws, all the prohibition of all things in this world and this civilization. Therefore, you must know all of calculus, what you would call calculus, in this your civilization. You must know all of history in your civilization and thousands of other civilizations, because this is how they learn how to conquer, is by learning the civilizations of each of these planets. So this is a very important part of their education, is to learn about all other civilizations that have beings that are sentient with
So what rules are you talking about, Elder? Because I had been living on Earth for so many years, and I don't understand like the rules of the Draconians. I wish Mom can tell me too.
because because of the civilization. Your mother was taken from, your father being Draconian. There is a melding of this only in private. It's just like you would say two schools going on. The school you attended, the training you attended, and then your mother would teach you the more sensitive side of being a reptilian, Draconian. Your mother felt very, very important for you to understand that all beings are sentient and all beings have a right to live in their own manner, whereas Draconians feel their way is the only way. She instilled in you this ability to see that there are two sides that are important.
Hmm.
The question you have for her?
Yes, I want to ask her, how was she raised when she is a child? I heard she was a slave in one of her uh, when she was very young, but I don't know how did she end up in Orion?
Oh, no, 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 no. She was not a slave until the Draconians captured her. She was a nobility in her planet. That is why they kidnapped her and did not kill her. They, in their villages, would travel and take a high degree of nobility to bring back as slaves. Otherwise, the others were slaughtered. There was no reason. Or they were put into the work camps or into other things. But as nobility, they were honored to be the slave of a Draconian. You understand?
Yes, I do. So I want to ask mom, like, how was she taught in her village?
Oh, it's very hard. Much, much, much hard. You, it, she wasn't. Oh, có thà thà thấm nó khá thà thà. Nó có mà nào tôi nó mà ta chân nó chín chỉ nó một cái mà nã đào cổ tôi nó mà cha ta nó cổ tôi mà nã ta chín. 이거 혼나다 저기 뒤도 너무 하다다 내 뒤지 그때 뭐 하다가 그거 너무 나 하우스 차한테 되게 너무 하다가 다 재는 거. 그래서 그것만 자자가 너무 자가 자다가 됐대. 그것만 저 저기 갔다 갔다 봤죠. 그러니까 내가 지금 어쩌다. 이거 어쩌다 이게 좋다. 나이지와 가다 왔다. 지 was not in a village, but in a very fine city. As I spoke earlier, that she was nobility. Nobility. Therefore, there are no villages in nobility. She was educated in the finest schools. She was educated of being. You might decide that there's more of a professors. This would be closest to what your mother's education was. She is a professor because as a nobility she had the finest schools to go to attend, and therefore she is nobility with the finest education. That is why the Draconians take the nobility because nobility are highly intelligent, and even as slaves, they use them for education. They use them for information, not education, but education. This is how they learn about all of the different planets. This is how they learn to pass on the education of all of the other civilizations and what goes on those planets. Do you understand? That is important for the Draconians to know, and therefore they take from this planet and 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 take to know. And in order for them to survive, they must educate. They are more of the teachers. Your mother was not a teacher, but she was a teacher of you.
Hmm. And I want to ask, is it true my mother is also a healer or a shaman? Because I did talk to mom a couple of weeks ago, and she did told me she is a shaman.
She is. This is part of the nobility. This is part of the specific training that goes on in her planet. A shaman, being that she can speak to other civilizations just through her mind. She can talk with the animals, speak with the nature.
Oh, so that's why I look just like my mother. I somehow like you did tell me last time that I was a college professor. So in one of my lifetimes. So now I get to know that my mother, I inherited from her.
Yes, yes. Your father was very highly educated as well. Therefore, that would also, as his position, he must have had to have highly education.
Hmm. Wait, so how is my dad educated?
Non-militaristic, in the more studious, in order for him to be a ambassador politician, but let's put it that way. Um, because in many cases, he and others had to have agreements and meetings with other civilizations in order to work things out. You see that all Draconians had made agreements with different civilizations, but the militaristic feel they will not communicate. They bring in nobility, they bring in the politicians, they bring them in to do the agreements, the contracts, as it is. In sometimes there are places where a 5-star planet system, and we would allow them to live on 1 star, and we, as Draconians, would take the rest.
Oh wow. So so how big is the Draconian Empire?
Immeasurable. Immeasurable.
Like, can you show it to me?
Go within. Go within. Go within. I will endeavor to send you the picture.
Wait, is that the Milky Way galaxy you're showing me? No, it's oh. Okay. I can see a galaxy, am I right?
Yes.
With large amount of stars on there.
Yes.
Is that the Milky Way? Oh my goodness, that's our kingdom?
75% of it is.
Oh my.
Understand your timeline at this time. This time in your timeline that has passed, that as much of it has been released, But at one time, the Draconians had 75%. Now, with the advent of many other Nocturian and Andromedans, there were many wars that came to play. And in that place, the Draconians released many of these. So speak now to 40% of the Milky Way. And another universe that we came from, we still hold a large foothold. But we will increase all the time. And it is this point now that we are the Draconian races on Earth are considering leaving Earth. The energies have become very unstable for us.
So how did you guys know the Andromedans or the Arcturians? Because I have friends who somehow say they know me.
Many lifetimes together on this and other planets, but Andromeda not particularly. Andromedan and Draconian are speak, but are not connected, are not friends, but they will communicate and they will agree to disagree. Two more questions.
Okay. So how was the militaristic group train the Draconians?
Repeat.
How does the militaristic group in the Draconian train their men?
In the way of war, in the way of confrontation, in the way of conquering, they learn hand-to-hand combat. They learn strategic mobilities. They learn all forms of the militaristic way. There is only 25% in the area of history, or 20% in the what you would call the mathematicals. They only need these to figure out percentages of how their ships should align with other planets in order to find the wormholes. Scientific things are all brought in through the ambassadors, through the educated ones. The militaristic must keep themselves clear for only combat and conflict and cannot find word in your language.
It's okay. I understand. Hmm. So what about when I grow up to become a strong, full-grown Draconian? How was I trained? I know when I was a child, I studied mathematics and the history of my civilization. But what happens if I become a member, or I have grown to become a reptilian or a Draconian?
Well, you are always one. You will never not be one. You are just A human, you are facets of all these races, all these beings that you have been. You are a part. You are not before or after. You are one. Just as all is one.
Hmm. Oh, I see.
The spiritual energies that are coming onto your planet at this time will make you understand how this works. There is only but one energy that we are all a part of. You are a facet of a reptilian. You are a facet of a draconian. You are a facet of a alien. You are a facet of other races. At this point, you are all. You understand all.
Yes, I do. So how can I help my brothers and sister here on Earth to understand the Draconians? I have Andromedans that they don't understand us.
I would first of all call myself a draconian reptilian hybrid. They need to understand that there is a balance even within you, a balance of that draconian, and again, not the militaristic draconian, the educated draconian, and a reptilian race, much more like an amphibian, if you understand amphibian more like that. So you would be a hybrid of amphibian draconian. You see, never you would have both. And then you have two hearts. Use them. That's what you need to do. You need to show the passionate, the compassion, the love, and the light that is from your mother. You need to also show the intelligence, the superiority, but also congeniality, being of a kind nature and not showing your superiority, because this life you have chosen now will not continue in a positive manner if you continue to act too superior to the people of earth.
Hmm.
No.
Yeah, yeah, I understand, and I have to admit, Mother, life here is very hard, and a lot of times, like the government, the one world government, is about to be installed, and like right now, I'm still living in poverty. Right now, it's hard, Mom. It's because I have some people here who just want superiority.
It is hard. You signed up for hard. You did not sign up. You are a powerful draconian in the way and manner, and you are the power of your mother, reptilian, amphibian, and nobility. So you are blended nobility, intelligence, and power. And this, but it does not fit in your planet, and it does not fit. So therefore, it alienates you. Alienates you. See, alienates you.
Hmm. That's why I have a hard time living here, Mom. But
There are many in your place. There are many, many, many. Keep to the people who feel the same way you do. Try not to control others. Others have their own mission, their own, shall we say, they have a journey that they have chose to go on. You have a journey you have chose to go on. It is okay to be friends, but do not try to win them over or them win you over, because you are different. You are from another civilization. You're from, and if they're Andromedan, they will never see eye to eye with you. Never.
I see.
You just learn how to blend. Like, be more of your mother. Be more of the part of your father who's an ambassador. Be more of the type of being that loves and sees the good in all. Just as you see the good in children, and just as you see their beautiful, loving energy, this is what we ask you as parents to see in all ages, all races.
So I want to ask my mother or father before we depart. Is I want to ask, what is my name? No one ever called me by my name before. My real reptilian draconian name.
One moment. One moment. Ichwacha chitinguanta takewachana manata kuanata chikinumanto tokuto namana katawata communicating motata. Itakata wanondo chamanda kataka chotron mahata kikinwa. Kawanda Jamaica taking on a walk at a minchiti for the Mokotana Kapata Badani Channel. You come in a chetakati one nakata chicken walk of a to Mahata, Kataba, Pupu, and the Vanaka, take you with Jamana Takono, Konomatakata, Watakon, Makata, Makumanata Kala, Kunamatata, Nike, Matakawata, Kawata Takono, Nakata, fiction at the woman. Katawanda Takata, with the Ma, Titu Ma, Tikatama Tokana, Nakuna, Nakamama. Na. The woman or female that has just spoken is your guide. You can contact and speak with her at any time. She is there with you always. She leads you to feel her connection. She is the closest thing you have to your parents at this time. She is an intermediate. So therefore, you in the future can speak with your parents yourself. She will teach you. Go within and listen to her. Al-Raktanda. Your name is Araktanda. Araktanda. No spelling on your planet. Your full name? Not possible to say in this vocal cord. But Araktanda is close enough.
So I'm thankful that Mom, you have helped me know my name, because I want to be able to remember my identity. I've forgotten who I am, and I don't know who my guide is. You know, I've seen her before, but I just don't know like if she looks like a little girl. She looks like a 12-year-old girl. Am I right? Did I see her?
She has very soft energy. She is very slight in build. 12. No, 325 years old, but she may look 12 to you.
I didn't know that. Okay. And also, I want to ask before I go. Also, like like you said that I was born in a planet of Alpha Draconia, like in the light areas. I personally like, what is that place? What does it look like? I don't remember anything.
You would most recognize it as rock mountains, but of majestic style. These are the buildings. They look like what you might call rocks with pinnacles on them. They appear to be like just a mountain with a strange design on the top. You will be sent a dream about this, so you will understand the color. It isn't, there's vegetation that is of a different color. It is of an orange color. The vegetation is not like your planet. We live within this planet more than what you'd call out. We do not go out, but very infrequently. The planet is of a, or I should say, the buildings are of a brown color, a beige color in your colors. It is have green throughout it a little bit, more of a blue green. The land, as I said, has little vegetation. Draconia is not the main civilization that it once was due to industry. So therefore, industry has made it harder for the civilization to be on the surface. Not to mention, being on the surface makes yourself a target to other invaders. We are completely protected by the surface.
Oh, I see.
That is why we look like mountains.
So what about when you say to me that you used our draconian race used to take whole entire solar system or take whole planets and leave a couple small one for everyone else. So is that the reason why when I looked over Alpha Draconis, is it like I saw that you guys own like the whole entire solar system of planets there?
At one time we did. It is no longer the same. But we keep in our quadrant and they keep in theirs. The Federation has made it a law of non-interference. We say we will abide as so far as we desire to. Again, I don't live there anymore. It is not hard. It's very hard for me to know. I do have friends who are still, shall we say, out, look out. No, trade. They do trade there. So they will, what you might call, spy a little bit. But this is all. This is all I know about it. I do not live there.
Okay.
We live Orion. You were raised on Draconia short time. Your schooling was mostly on Orion.
Hmm.
You were only on Draconia for 200 of your years, which would make you a 6-year-old here in your planet. You left as a child. You left. But
So
education begins at 75 years old. Your our planet, 75. That would make you 3.
oh wow. So so how old was I when I first came to Earth?
0. You incarnated on this planet, so you're 0. You do no longer have an age from another. You are starting over on this planet. 0.
Oh, okay. You know, Mom, I get to know you a lot better, and I wish I get to know more about your home planet or your village when I have the time to see you again.
I want you to go within your dream time. We will be there. Your father will be there, and I will be there. Go into your dream time. Keep records of your dreams. When you see a planet that is of a green nature, my planet is very green, very blue, lots of water, beautiful blue green water. That is my planet. So when you see a planet with a lot of water, blue green water with a lot of green vegetation, because we are vegetarians, we do not eat each other on that planet. That is why when we were abducted by the Draconians, it was very hard for us to eat. We, many of us, literally starved because we had to learn how to eat their food, which is of a protein, totally protein nature, animal byproducts.
So, so
Not in Orion, though.
I
Orion
know.
has a mixture. Thank God. Thank the service. Thank God.
So that means my mother eats. She's vegetarian, but my father, uh, like, what does his planet look like? Because I don't remember living in a home where my father ever freed me, right?
Your father ever what?
Did your my father ever fed me or teach me? Because most of the time I felt like I am learning from my mom. I don't learn from my dad very much.
You and do, Draconian men do not teach the civil child. Do, it is not the job of a Draconian man to care for children. But your mother's nature was instilled in you to care for children. Your father, your father was gone very, very much. He was as an ambassador, he was as an interpreter, he was as a resource historian, and he was gone. So you did not see him much at all until he rescued you from the planet and you went to Orion. Then on Orion, you learned more about your father. You learned that your father was a very proud man, but I learned to love you better from my dear beloved wife. It was not in my nature to care for you or your brother and sister, but I learned how to do the best of my ability. Your mother was still responsible for you.
I understand, Dad. I'm very proud of you. And I'm always proud to be your son. I just want to get to see you one day. Because I miss you. Just like how I miss Mom. I even wish I get to see my brothers and sister. But where's my brothers and sisters? Like, if I'm here on Earth, where did everyone else go?
You have one on the planet. Remember, you may never, ever, ever meet her, but they're on the planet. Many have come from other civilizations to assist on your planet. The vibrations have moved into the realm of the desired time for the what you call ascension, what we call the natural order of the civilization to move into the next frequency. She is helping in her way, you in yours. Your brother is not in this quadrant, not in this. He is on a starship, as your father is on a starship, different starships. They are.
Okay. So that means like one of my brothers and sister only. So that means I still have 4 more that I didn't get to know.
No, not on this planet, but you knew them. You must go within. You have memories from within. Search your memories from within. Search yours.
Okay. And I am thankful that I get to talk to you, Elder.
We are very happy to be here.
Thank you for coming. I promise I will search within to find you when we meet again.
In your dreams is not a dream. In your dreams, you can travel. Learn how to astral travel, and you will go to your own planet, Orion. You will go travel everywhere. You will see myself and your father. You will see your sister, which is you see, she lives in a land where they speak similar to what we just gave you.
I promise I will go find my sister. I know she lives here on Earth, but I just don't know who yet. But I am.
She is Chinese.
Hmm.
Not exactly Chinese. She is Cantonese. Um, Shanghai. So look on Facebook for Cantonese Chinese Shanghai.
Okay.
You may be able to connect with her that way. We love you, son, and we'll be with you in your hearts.
Thank you, Dad.
This was your mother.
What? Oh, my mother?
Yes. You cannot tell the difference between the channeling information from mother or father.
Yes, that is right. I can't tell who's my father and who's my mother. I've seen my mother so many times.
You
I just
can
want to see Dad.
feel me. Feel me. You can feel me in your heart. Your father, you can feel in your mind. You understand the difference. That way you will know when we are communicating with you. You will feel me in your heart. You will feel your father in your mind.
Oh, okay. I see now. Yes. Okay, Mom. I know it's been a. I don't know what's your time over there, but I personally am. It's like noontime over here. It's pretty hot here in this planet, and I just wish that I had a chance to show you what my home looks like here.
We know.
Oh,
We see your earth. Your earth is a very popular place. Many programs talk about your earth.
Trogons? Who?
Programs, you might say, like your TV.
Oh, okay.
We pay attention to what's going on Earth because we have many children on Earth. Our civilizations have many children on Earth, so we keep track of our children.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elder. And I will see you, Father and Mom. I promise. Misha, are you there?
Okay. Criminy, am I thirsty?
It's okay. It's okay. I totally understand.
Yeah, well,
Wow, I did not know that. Like for the Draconians, they said that I had to be educated in the highest degree of the highest, which is like, wow, that's ridiculous.
well, because you're different than Draconians. I mean, you're Draconian, but you're like a different than like the military. I know about. I was definitely still around for most of that to understand that. And it's kind of like a movie's going on in my head. I see all these pictures and images and there's conversations going on like crazy. It's crazy. It's really is weird. Um, I would like to tell you what I'm seeing. In your as your a guide. Um, she she looks like she's definitely um, she has dark hair. Her eyes are like a turquoise green. Um,
Is she a human?
yeah, she definitely looks human. Yeah, yeah. I believe that's because it's easier to communicate, especially if you've got your guide coming in and you're a human and stuff. And she looks like she's, a very light skinned um, woman. I mean, I don't want to say Asian, but that maybe is the closest thing to it, to what her eyes shape is, you know. Um, uh, I'm curious. Any of the time that she was talking, could you understand a word here and there or anything?
You
Or
mean you
completely
mean the
different?
guide?
No, the the more harmony kind of sound, the kind of more, I don't know.
You
I
mean
guess
the Chinese song that I was talking about?
no. Today, when your guide was talking, because that was your guide that would come through every now and then. It was like a four-way conversation going on. Your guide would communicate because it was really evident that there was no way that, so there was a whole lot of telepathic communication between the four of them, because there was no way that I could physically continue a conversation with just your parents. It was too hard. So she came in to help it. Okay. So when she was doing a lot of talking, I wanted to know, did you recognize? I've always wondered because some of the sounds that come out sound kind of similar to different Asian dialects or Indian dialects or
I always get it, but I just don't know how to respond to her.
Okay, so is there any words or anything you picked up during that? Because you said you speak several
I
languages, right?
I actually studied several languages when I was a little child, but like I don't recognize her words, but I do, however, tell her that I do recognize what she's trying to show me or understand non-verbally. Like I understand it.
Okay, okay,
She
well that's
does.
fine.
She does
That's
something, and then she does something, and I get it. You know.
okay. That's good to know. I mean, because I've always been curious if these, because I know that the different dialects on the world on this planet came from the different ET groups. So they're going to have some similarities, but through the evolution, it's changed and different dialects blend with each other, I think, and things like that. I don't know. I don't know. Tower of Babel and all that good stuff. I don't know. So, I was just curious about that for myself, just for my own information, because it makes me wonder where these languages are coming from and how, where am I getting them? And they come over my mouth and there's nothing I can do but speak them out, but I want to know if they send a message to the people. I'm glad to hear that. So you got the message, even though you didn't get the words and understand the words. Is that correct?
Yeah, most of the time. And in fact, I'm actually. Is this somewhat what she looks like right here?
Oh, Oh, definitely the eyes. You haven't got the nose, but you definitely got the eyes. The nose is wrong.
Yeah,
The
she's
nose
is
is a
even
little too wide. The nose is a little too wide, but the eyes are very good.
because to be honest with you, I've drawn her ever since I was a 4-year-old.
Ha! Is that right? Well, and she's been with you the whole time. There's no doubt about it.
But I was like, who is she to talk to me? Did she know me before, or am I? Is she a version of me, or what happened?
I don't know. She's a guide. I don't know. Um, she's Well, we have angels and guides around us. You can call them angels or guides or whatever you want them. And we have them around, and we have one that stays with, or actually we probably have more, but there's specific ones that stay with us our whole life. And I believe that's who she is for you.
Hmm.
Make her. Do you remember how her hair goes? She has like a hair that she has both dark black, like black hair. It goes. There's a bang that comes around like this.
Oh, you mean like? Okay, I do remember
Yeah,
that one.
yeah. Kind of comes around like that. It's her hairdo, and it comes around, and it's like a tie type thing. She's got it tied around or something. Um, um,
No wonder I actually draw I was unconsciously drawing her when I was a little kid, where I somehow was attracted to young women, and turns out she's the one who came through.
well, that's good.
Wow, let me try to get through this. I'm almost
Hey, are
through.
you still taping?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, well, I guess you can. That's fine.
Okay, let me see here. Okay, this is basically her then.
That's very good. Yes, 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 yes. Very good.
I
Very
actually, I actually remembered her long ago. I was like, is that her? Is that what I'm thinking in my head?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want you to remember this. All of this information is within you. You have all the Akashic records within you that you can communicate with your family. I want you to learn how to maybe talk. I should say learn, but maybe work on going to some of these Hulu, whatever they call them, these groups where people talk different languages. I really would like you to try channeling your language, whether it's you speak her language, your guides, or whether you speak your parents' language, because your parents have two different dialects. Your mother still speaks her dialect from the reptilian amphibian, and your father still speaks kind of the draconian. So you have those.
I just wish that mom actually understand dad, because like I personally, that's what happens in my Earth family. Is like we have the North Vietnamese who spoke a totally different dialect from the South,
Okay.
and there are times like my family will start teasing each other.
A what?
They start teasing each other.
Teasing.
Yeah, like as though like one side is like all saying like you guys are so weak. I was like, mom.
Who's weak? I don't get it.
It's like you know how the Vietnamese people, like they usually say that either you're too poor, or you're like too being what we call greedy, and that's what happens in my culture, where like the northern people are considered like they're like, how you put it, almost like the peasants, but
Oh, okay.
versus the South is like more civilized. So therefore, we tend to be a lot of times like people would laugh at the Northerners for being way too being like peasants,
Oh. And so you said your father and mother are from different parts? North.
Yeah, yeah. I found out that this lifetime, when I trace back my heritage, it all start to link back to like my unconscious thinking about my galactic family. There's a lot of parallels.
Okay.
Like I found out that my last name, like my surname, is actually doesn't come from. It's actually related to the surname Lay in Vietnamese.
Uh-huh.
And when I traced back my origin correctly, I found out that my family that has the surname of Lai, it came from a royal family that is a ruling class family.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So there, yeah, well, that would explain why you're in, from that. Even though, um, well, now you're not adopted, right?
Uh, the way how I was treated, I was like adopted, you know.
Oh, but you're not adopted.
Nuh-uh.
No. Okay. Okay. I might have got you confused with somebody else that I've worked with. So
I wow, and I'm starting to like.
I got to be going here pretty soon. I got to have some breakfast. I haven't eaten breakfast yet. And it's 12:30 here. What are you drawing another picture?
No, I'm actually trying to complete the picture of her right here. It's gotten a lot better.
Oh, that's very, very good. That's it. Yeah, you definitely capture the eyes for sure. What medium are you using?
I'm using my pen.
Wow, you're a wonderful artist.
To be honest, I actually my Earth family is ridiculously hard on me when it comes to drawing. Like a lot of times, I get hit. I
You
don't
get
know why.
you get hit. What do you mean hit?
Like they would hit me in the hands for holding the pencil wrong or all that. It's just I'm used to just like holding like this when I was a little kid.
Oh, well, that's because of you where the planet you came from.
But like that's the thing is like
But can you imagine if you had claws? How you'd be clawing yourself if you held the pen like we do. You have to hold it like this, otherwise you'd claw yourself.
you know, I personally had to ask when I first learned about the Draconians. Nowadays, I heard that they would hit their children a lot of times, which to me I don't believe it's true about Draconians.
You're picking up the military. Oh yeah, the militaristic. Sure, the militaries actually they're almost like oh, okay. They're like Vietnam's North and South. Okay. In the respect that the I don't know which is which, but say the South is the militaristic and the North is this. Well, now the North are very educated, that they teach their children to be educated. They teach them about history and histories of all the civilizations, all the other worlds, whereas the militaristics teach one thing. I mean, they teach um, um, what's the word?
Like
But
it's like
control. They teach them how to be. What I was seeing was, it was like they have to be in line. They have to be. They're very militaristic. They follow orders, 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 orders. So all the way through their lives, it's all about keeping things in order and being in order. Like as if you were a parent. I mean, a child of a general. It would be the same kind of thing.
but I
That
personally was
kind of-
like, so what did since the military group isn't like that big, I wonder like how did the Draconians actually taught? Because I found that some Andromedans, like I saw that a some Andromedan commented on the Draconians' way of training their kids. Some of them said that they would beat up their kids for.
Yeah, it's called order. It's called, they have to follow the rules, and they have to learn how to be tough. And so they learn hand-to-hand combat from the time they're a child on.
Right, but that's only like a small percentage of what the Draconians actually taught kids.
But again, you have two sects that taught. The
Yup.
Draconian, the militaristic, that's their way, is to teach them. The other ones, especially with the fact that your mother taught you also, you still were very, well, it's not militaristic, but it's still very rule orientated and very powerful, and into the power and into the egotistical. But then when your mother would teach you, she taught you through about the heart and the love and things like that.
Okay. Like I was like I don't know how the educational group teach their kids, but I know that my mom is actually like I believe like she actually let me play a lot, I guess, when I was a kid.
I couldn't tell you that. I don't know. I don't know about that. Couldn't tell you. Um, what I was seeing was you would come back from school, and by the way, um, you wore a green, blue, something blue green. I don't know, kind of like the uniform. They always wore the uniforms to school. I only saw it on the top, the bottom, not the top. Um, but but anyway, I'd see you come home about Thursday. And your mother lavished you with love. She really did love you. She really, she. So I would imagine she did let you play because playing there is different because they don't play outside because of the whatever it is. I couldn't gather. It was like there was something very inhospitable about the planet on the surface. I don't know what it was. And now it could be because trillions of years ago, uh, it was different than it is now. But it was really hospitable,
So
unhospitable.
so that's so that was like my previous like my last incarnation as a draconian, right? Where I like 3 trillion years ago.
No, no, no. I'm saying they had a regular planet, I believe, back then, but with warring and all the different battles, and then they wanted to hide from other groups that wanted them dead. So that I think that's where they built these mountain-like structures,
Oh my. Okay.
and they didn't play out. It was very they didn't go outside. There was well, yes, they did. The militaristic guys, I saw them running around outside in their doing their combat and stuff, but but it was just in one area. It was all rocks and sand, and not very nice. It's not really a pretty planet, I gotta tell you. But when you went into Orion, your mother's planet was beautiful. Your mother's planet reminded me of
Name me one place on Earth that I can remember.
like name a place on Earth. Hawaii, maybe Hawaii, or maybe not Hawaii. Um, it wasn't jungles. It was different kind of trees. I don't know what they were.
Oh, okay.
I'd
Okay.
say probably like the Africa kind of jungles. I mean, like
Oh, you mean like Asian, right? It's like I can remember now. I see that somehow my mother gave me a little message here. It looks like Vietnam.
oh, does it? See, I don't know how Vietnam works.
There were a lot of trees back in Vietnam, but the U.S. literally like when there's a war going on, it wiped out the entire trees and everything on there. And
Oh,
right
really?
now we're suffering a lot of casualties where people start having illnesses that the Vietnamese people never had before.
Oh, of course, those are things with Agent Orange and all that crap.
Yeah, and Vietnam is like we are suffering a lot from the consequences of the war, and right now like we're making a comeback. Although of course there's a price to pay. Where right now our country has to like clean up like those black river that was poisoned, or there were a lot of like littering in the country.
Oh, yeah. And they're still doing that after this long a time. Isn't that sad? That's
Yeah, it
what war is
is.
all about. Whole war is so awful. That's why, when you think about the Draconians and how they went and, you know, put every civilization and went in and took whole civilizations and destroyed them, and I guess they left some people living and everything like that, but now they were the conqueror, they were the control, they owned the place, right? So I mean, you can just see that in what happened with you in Vietnam and what happened to your not planet, but your homeland, and because of war, because of awful war. Because I don't. We had no business going over there, in my opinion, none whatsoever. I was one of those hippies that didn't believe in the Vietnam War at all. I thought it, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the Viet
Don't worry, I totally get it because
felt different.
because
But
I'm born there, so I know.
so would the Vietnamese and the Viet Congs, would they have been able to work things out, or were the Viet Congs that bad that they couldn't work it out?
It's hard to work out with the Viet Congs. In fact, they even suppress people by saying that, hey, if you talk bad about the government over there, like they would put you in jail or they would torture you until you can stop.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Well, did they? Because what the stories was that from us is that, I hope you're not taping all this because we don't need all this. But yeah, you still are, aren't you?
Wait, what?
Are you still taping this? Because we don't need all this.
Okay.